We predominantly grow corn and cotton in this area. We are also large in wheat acres, and I use Avail on my phosphate for all of my applications of dry fertilizer, and we've been real successful with it. I've had three years continuous now using Avail, and we're very happy with it. In today's ag industry, there's so many products available out there, and so many things that are brought to me as a dealer and to the farmer, and you're concerned about what's out there, and should we use it and should we not. And I really like to take a product and do research with it before I even want to sell it myself. SFP came to me and promoted these products to me, especially Avail and Nutrisphere, but I know we're talking about Avail, and I was a little bit hesitant, of course, like anything, but I did some research with it. I had 2 or 3 of my growers that were willing to take on small acreage and do some side-by-sides, and so from there we just started using it. We pulled soil test, and I've just completed my 3rd year of selling it, and I have no doubt that it works. So therefore it's easier for me to sell with the data and research that I have done myself in the local area, and then have testimonies of my own customers to help me sell the product. Well, number one, it promotes that it will help you utilize your fertilizer and efficiency as well. So therefore, if it works, and which it does, that's what helps make it work and sell itself. So when we put it out with our phosphate, we see, especially from using soil sample and testing on side-by-side treatments, it definitely works. And we've pulled tissue analysis, and even after a season of growing crops, we still go out there and pull soil samples at different levels, and we know without a doubt that there's still availability of phosphate there due to the use of Avail, and where we have not applied it to our phosphate, there's not near as much availability there. It definitely pays for itself, and then some. Where I'm really using it heavily in my corn silage, we're seeing tonnage anywhere from low end 27 tons per acre, and we're getting up to 32 to 34 tons per acre, and I'm definitely seeing an increase of 1 to 3 tons depending on the area and the availability of the product. Number one, create an awareness, and then have that trustworthiness with myself and between the customers, and then the customers talk to each other. And just right out here west of town, had a full circle of corn 2 years ago, and 60 acres we put it with, and then 60 acres without Avail, and there was a difference there, and there's no doubt in my mind and the grower's mind that the Avail had something to do with it because of the phosphate usage. We started using Nutrisphere 3 years ago. Predominantly Nutrisphere for sure goes on nitrogen, of course. I started using it with dry urea, 4600, and we were top dressing wheat, and then we also were using it, when we first started using Nutrisphere, we were pumping it through the center pivot irrigation systems, and we were spoon feeding our nitrogen, and we didn't want to put as much nitrogen out at the time, so we learned that using Nutrisphere would be able to help us use our nitrogen better. And so we started pumping Nutrisphere through the system, and we saw great results as using it that way. As I mentioned with the triticale and wheat crops that we have, we were top dressing in the spring, and sometimes when you throw out the urea, you cannot incorporate it. You can't get the irrigation system to get around as fast as you want it to, and you're afraid that you're going to lose some of your nitrogen. So this enhanced the reason for using Nutrisphere. And so if Mother Nature didn't cooperate and give us the rain like we'd like to have, we were able to let it set out there with ease and comfort, and knowing that the Nutrisphere was working on our dry nitrogen product, and until we got it time to get it incorporated and let the plant use it to its efficiency. Today's cost of nitrogen is extremely high. Our expenses in our crops is just unbelievable. So therefore, when we use NutriSphere with our nitrogen, we were able to not necessarily drop our rates of nitrogen, but knowing that we're going out there with NutriSphere on our nitrogen, that we're getting the best bang for our buck. Using NutriSphere, as I stated with the Veil, we started this out at first small test strips and trials, side-by-sides. We were able to see different results with and without NutriSphere on side-by-sides. We started taking soil samples and the tissue analysis as well as we did with the Avail, and there was a dramatic increase in not only in yield but just usage of our nitrogen. We were taking strip till. Well, let me back up. We started using it top dress, and then we wanted to go with our strip till, minimum till. We were putting it down at planting and before planting. Therefore, we were seeing results early. The corn plant especially, and cotton as well. As soon as it touched the NutriSphere and nitrogen, we knew that we were getting benefit with that. Then later on, after the crop season was over with, we went and pulled soil samples, and we could see where we applied and did not apply, and our nitrogen was still there at the 6 and 8 inch levels, and where we did not apply NutriSphere on our nitrogen, the test results were showing negative. In yield responses using NutriSphere on our nitrogen, the numbers were definitely showing increasing, especially in our corn silage. We were seeing anywhere from 2 to 3, 4 tons more per acre. In our cotton, we were seeing anywhere from 20 to 30, 40, 50 pounds an acre more using our cotton nitrogen with NutriSphere on our cotton acreage. Definitely in our wheat, the tonnage was up on our silage for using triticale. Then our wheat going to grain, yields were definitely up as well. NutriSphere has done real well with our customers by word of mouth. They talk to each other here at my office, they talk to each other at the coffee shop and on the turn rows. And one guy that hasn't used it, the other guy that has, and they get to talking, and they say, well, I believe I'll try that. So they go down to Olton Grain Co-op and visit with me and the other salesmen, and it's a product. NutriSphere is a product that we like to sell and recommend because we know that it works. I would definitely recommend Avail and NutriSphere to all of my customers. I have in my grower meetings, I have in one-on-one conversations with them on the turn row and here in my office, because after selling it for 3 years, I'm very comfortable with it, and I have the data not only to show them, but I just have confidence in the product.